Hey, Cody, what percentage of the rent do you put aside per month for caution? We do based off of like a percentage. So for example, we look at things such as vacancy rate, which is, you have the property rented out, it's rented out for a year, say that tenant moves out and it's vacant for a month. You have to account for that 1 month of lost income, right? So like that's something you have to be thinking about. So vacancy rate is important. CapEx, capital expenditures. So the roof needs some work while you own the property. Say the AC unit goes out, say you have a leak and you have to fix some plumbing work, right? Like those are capital expenditures. So the percentages that we use in our business is on capital expenditures, we have 3%, and that's off of whatever the rent is that we're collecting on an annual basis. And then we do 2% for the vacancy factor, just based on how long we expect it to be vacant. And so that's essentially what we have being set aside every single month for our properties, so that there is reserves there. So if something does happen and there's work that needs to be done to any of them, or it sits vacant a little bit longer, we have capital set aside. It's also going to depend, Josh, on the age of the properties and the area. Like, for example, if you bought a property that was built in 2015 and it's in like an A-class neighborhood, like the schools are the best in the city, the best in the zip code, it was newly remodeled in the last couple of years, it's highly desirable to live there, it's in great condition, you've already got it inspected and everything's pristine and perfect, you may not have issues, or it may rent out significantly faster than if it's in a different area. So that's something to keep in mind on the vacancy. And then the capital expenditures on that 2015 build are going to be different than if you're buying properties on the East Coast and your rental you're buying was built in 1927 and the plumbing hasn't been fixed since maybe the mid 1900s, right? Like that's a property that you're probably gonna have to set aside a little bit more for. So the proper answer for that, Josh, and for anybody that's wondering on like how much you should be setting aside for your reserves for like vacancy rate and for the capital expenditures, is it's going to be market dependent. So I would say connecting with a local investor. Pace has sub-2 students literally all over the country. So if you are looking to connect with some experts, you can jump into the Creative Finance with Pace Morbay Facebook group, find students that are in your market, get some insight on that, but they'll be able to give you a better idea for those that own already in your market of what those expenses are going to look like and what those vacancy rates are going to look like. Because obviously the vacancy rates and the CapEx in Phoenix, Arizona is going to be different than like Detroit, Michigan or New Jersey, right? Like there's going to be variances in that. So that's just something to keep in mind.